This is Dabu7. We've been talking about the thinned out shelves, how inflation is going through the roof and the cost of everything has risen extremely. Well, now that this war in Ukraine is kicked up, it's having a ripple effect throughout many of the other areas. Food being one of them big time, and the sanctions that were put on Russia, they countered by saying we're going to stop putting out fertilizer and all these other critical goods, critical grain, wheat that is supplied around the world. They're going to stop. Other countries have already seen this and said, guess what? If they're not going to put out the fertilizer that we need, we're done shipping any of our stuff. This is causing things to lock up quickly. You won't see this probably until the next couple weeks, as all those shipments that are already en route get to the shelves, get filled, and then all those orders coming in behind that are not going to be. It's just going to be more stagnant because they're not coming in. We have full-blown countries saying they're not shipping out things like wheat and grain at all. Zero at this point because of this. You'd be crazy to think this is not going to have an effect on all of us. Because some people could walk into the grocery store, everything looks fine. Well, here at some point, it's going to affect everybody big time. And it's not just food. Energy prices as well, going through the roof. And they're saying that all this is going to continue. And it's so bad, they fear that it's about to spark the next Arab Spring. When it comes to the breadbasket to the world, Russia and Ukraine together account for a quarter of the global grain trade. A quarter of global. And you got to think of what's been GMO'd in there as well here at this point. So all this talk about bracing for rationing is all over the place. Many warning signs out there again and again and again about what's coming. So I just want to let folks know we talk about this in greater detail on the live shows. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to be focused a whole lot more on the survival aspect of this. And as we get into spring, people need to be growing. They need to be getting their own food up and going ASAP and preparing for the next year. Back to back from here. Preparing and depending on no one else but yourself. Because when these grocery stores are completely shut down or don't have things, it's all about the barter system that you put together with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your community. Okay? So that's the key this year.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the whole elect. Noise in the gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Akia Mahaloya coming back with another lesson. Lord's will to be edifying. Give me 1 second. Yo, this was another video. It says Arab Spring risks flourish as global food prices jump to record high. As you know, we are facing inflation. Okay, soon to be hyperinflation due to this alleged war that's in the Ukraine. Okay, the price of goods, retails have gone up. The price of sneakers, the price of clothes, gas, these things are increasing. Slowly but for surely, because why? We're in a time of all hell breaking loose. Okay, and this is what you're witnessing, the collapse of the dollar. All right, you had this guy Biden, I believe, I'm not sure if it was on a State of the Union address that he addressed the hiking gas properties, but I believe he was talking about releasing other oil reserves, etc., to kind of keep the prices stable or to bring them down. But my thing is this: you can have as many oil reserves as you want, but if nobody is buying into your commodities, then it's not going to do anything. Okay? It ain't about how much oil you got. It's just who's willing to do business with your ass. And ain't nobody's willing to really to do business with America, Babylon, and Greek as far as on that level, because everybody is waking up to this place. Okay? Everybody's waking up to the fact that you are the problem of the planet Earth. You know, like I said in my last in transit, Jacob's trouble. Now, we're not in Jacob's trouble, but these are the events that's leading up until all hell breaking loose, man. Okay, when the men of the Lord are going to basically be hunted down or attempted to be hunted down. And you're going to have various miracles, Okay, we're gonna have things that's gonna happen and that's gonna intervene in our lives. That's gonna allow us to kind of still navigate in this what they call post-apocalyptic world. All right, but nonetheless, through the spirit, I'm gonna get some of this article followed by a few precepts. It says here, global food prices soared to a new record high in February, led by a massive jump in vegetable oil and dairy prices, as well as higher costs for grains. Like Dabu said, Ukraine and Russia, which are the same people, make up for 0.25% of the grains here in the United States, which is 25%. Okay, a fourth of, or they say a grain, a quarter, 25%. Okay, and this is the breadbasket of the world, the Midwest. And not coincidence that they're getting hit by all these storms. Okay, like today, it was snow. I think it snowed last night. It's pretty, 40 degrees today. Okay, not too bad, but nonetheless, okay, for this time of year, it's a hit and miss. Tomorrow, 50s. Wednesday's 50s. Thursday is gonna snow. Okay, it's supposed to be like 45 degrees with sleet and snow. Don't know how that's possible, but it's happening because we know Esau is messing with the weather. But Friday, 30 degrees, Saturday, 30 degrees, and it's gonna jump up to 60 degrees, man. Okay, so this is not normal. Clearly, it's not normal. These are the plagues that the Lord is allowing to hit the planet. But nonetheless, Esau, Edom, who the Lord is using on the left-hand side to bring in these left-hand miracles, all this played hand in hand, you see? Because let's just say if the summer is overly hot, let's just say, like, I remember a couple years ago, I want to say back in 2018, we had a drought in the Midwest to the point that the crops barely grew. So they couldn't really get the produce and the particular corn feed that they needed in order to sustain themselves. So therefore, they had to double up the next year. So it could be a year like that. And right along with this global collapse, you know, it's not looking too good for America. All right. But it says here, according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, it says the move higher in food prices come as the Russian invasion of Ukraine sent commodity markets into disarray, which indicates prices could continue to surge and may trigger another Arab Spring, which this is all by design, man. Okay. This is all set up by design. Okay. The so-called white man invaded Ukraine, okay, in order for this whole situation to be like, oh, this is just a flat out invasion. Okay, it's deeper than what they're leading on in the media. You can't trust the media. But nonetheless, all these governments are somehow in some way are in bed with one another as far as what the hell is going on. But at the same time, everybody despises America. Okay, and rightly so. But reading on here, and I'm gonna do a word search on Arab Spring. Now we're gonna look it up. I think they got a couple of. Let me see what this says, man. They got a couple of things. It says Arab Spring was a series of anti-government protests, uprisings, and armed rebellions that spread across much of the Arab world in the early 2010s. It said it began in response to corruption and economic stagnation. Okay, and this is what we focus on. Okay, because the economy is not really stable. They lying and saying the economy is bouncing back, but clearly it's not. It's a lot of people out of work. Okay, it says it was the first started in Tunisia. It says for Tunisia, the protest then spread to 5 other countries: Libya, Egypt, Yemen, Syria, and Bahrain, where either the ruler was deposed or major uprisings and social violence occurred, including riots, civil wars, and insurgencies. Okay, and it's looking like that for America, man, because once these gas prices continue to go up, like we said before, hey, at the end of the day, gas prices may be $6-7, man. Okay, but once these prices continue to skyrocket and the price of foods and goods and canned goods go up, people gonna lose their fucking minds, man. That's why it's wise if brothers, you go to the store, buy a little extra, buy a little extra water here and there. Like me, every time I get paid, I may just go ahead and buy a case of water. Okay, like one of those 40, what is this thing here? This is like a 40 pack. Okay, 3 cases of them, 40, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120 bottles of water. I mean, it's not a lot, but nonetheless, you ain't got to go to the store and get water for a while. All right, in case things do go up, because I mean, shit is getting ready to hit the fan. All right, and that's the point I wanted to make. But it says the FOA Food Price Index, which is abbreviated as the FFPI, which stands for FAO Food Price Index, a measure of the monthly change in the international prices of a basket of food commodities, averaged 140.7 points in February, up 3.9% from January, plus 24.1% compared with the same month last year, and 3.1% higher than a record in February 2011. Okay, so America's going down. All right, this is leading up to what you would call Jacob's trouble. When all hell break loose, at the same time, you're going to have the persecution of the men of the Lord and the true followers in Yahweh Shai, and we in Passover season. Passover is literally next week. Okay, and Lord's will this be the last Passover, man. We got to keep in this fucking place. But regardless of that, man, hey, it's heavy shit getting ready to happen. And the truth, outside the truth, man, we in sifting season, man. Hey, Jake's are bugging out. All these false doctrines, man, these bug outs are coming from every fucking crack in hell, you know. Jake coming up with new fucking doctrines day by day, you know. Or higher, you got women teaching, rebelling against men. It's just a bunch of madness, man. And on top of that, you had Johanna talking about, yeah, we could take the jab, man. So it's just like, damn, okay. But it says the largest mover of the index of FAO vegetable oil prices index up 8.5% over the previous month to a new record high, driven by palm, soy, and sunflower oils. It says the second largest was the dairy price index, up 6.4% over the prior month. And it says in the cereal price index was a plus 3%. Okay, so it says bread batches to the world, Russia to Ukraine account for a quarter of global grain trades. And this is just like a little scale here. Wheat, spot index, all this here. Which I'm not going to go into all that. This is the point that we're in a very volatile situation. Things are getting ready to happen. So real quick, this is the scriptures here. This is the book of 2 Ezra 16:17. It says here, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? This is a question that the prophet Esdras asked the Most High, or asked the angel, man. He's like, damn, how am I going to survive doing this hell breaking loose on planet Earth? Okay, because that's the mindset of a man of the Lord, man. Okay, that should be all our mindset. How will we survive? How will Yahweh Shemi Yahweh Shai allow us a loophole through the coming hell? And the question is the standard. Okay, Daniel 12:1 says at that time, Michael shall stand, the prince of thy people. And it reads here, it says, in the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, and people are in mourning right now. Okay, but it's yet to intensify, because as food prices continue to go up, people are going to start panic buying. Okay, like last year, matter of fact, 2 years ago, when this whole ordeal kicked off, people were panic buying, man. Not food, but toilet paper. It was to the point they was only limiting 2 rolls per person, because everybody thought hell was getting ready to break loose. People was getting into fighting in stores. They were fighting over toilet paper. But how much more food? Something that you actually need to survive. Okay? It says the beginning of famine and great death, and the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. But what should I do when these evils come? Right. Okay? Because, hey, right now, these evils are manifesting themselves. Okay? Gas prices are going up. The brother, shit, man, he did gas was $3.80 something in Chicago, and it went up damn near $1 overnight. Okay, and hey, I don't think it's gonna come down at this point. It says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute, but for all these things they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges, okay? Because the people ain't going to really realize this is the Lord judging them. This is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai that's clearing the mantle for their destruction. Because the people are so proudful, they're so prideful, and they're so bugged out within their own philosophies to the point they don't even realize that the Most High is judging them, putting them in a trick bag. And it says here, in the dead, it says, for many of them that dwell on the earth should perish of famine. Right. Rising prices. Shortage on foods. We had the convoy a few weeks ago, okay, which they're not really too much speaking on that no more. But hey, you got a lot of activities that's happening in America, man. Okay, and a lot of these global supply chains are being disrupted, which is intentional. It says, shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And it says, and the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them. For the earth should be wasted, and the city should be casted down. Okay, and this is what we're getting ready to enter into. Okay, now this is Jacob's trouble, pretty much. Okay, because the cities are casted down, they're wasted. People are dying. It's a witch hunt for the men of the Lord. And the list goes on. And it says, and there should be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. Why? Because you're going to literally have dead bodies poured out in the streets, man. Okay? You're not going to have ambulance or EMT services that's coming around and burying the dead because they're going to need burying. All right? Ain't nobody going to be working in that day. Nobody's going to be doing firefighter services when apartment buildings and homes and garbage cans and cars and trucks are set on fire, set ablaze. Nobody's going to be doing any work. All right? Nobody's going to come and put that shit out because it ain't going to be no fire department around to do that. And damn sure there ain't going to be no fire department around to pull out the missiles when the missiles hit. So you can forget about it, man. And it says here, and the trees should give fruit, and who should gather them? And the grapes should ripen, and who should tread them? For all the places should be desolate of men. Why? Because there's famine, there's civil war coming on America in different parts of the world. And so that one man should desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there should be 10 left, and 2 in the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks, man, okay? Because shit, there's going to be a lot of dead out here, man. All right? So this is the book of 2 Esdras 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Okay? We're speaking prophetic events, which I will put in thy mouth, says the Lord, and cause it to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. You see? And this proves they're true because they're coming to pass, man. Inflation. That's in the scriptures, and we're reading about it. Okay? Going down to 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And hey, we're in a time now that 2 Esdras 15 and 16, like we always say, is getting ready to jump off the pages. All right, they're talking about an imminent zombie apocalypse. And what brought that to my mind is because I have this little Walking Dead comic book. It's pretty good, man. But yeah, I got this little comic book. And it really goes into what the hell is happening, man. Okay? Everybody's writing it off as a joke, but somehow, some way, he perfected that juice to affect people in various ways, man. And sooner than later, I mean, we don't really know the whole particular outcome besides them dying off. But these people are going to start becoming something else, man. When this shit go down, people are going to start acting not normal, okay? They're already a bunch of zombies as it is, but these people are going to become activated somehow, okay? It's just a wait-and-see approach. But, hey, at this point, they make movies about it, and they're doing documentaries on it. Like, it's a good documentary on Tubi TV, goes into basically a zombie apocalypse, and they're not speaking of if it happens, they're speaking as to when it happens. Okay, like they know something is up. Same thing with this whole Ukrainian conflict. On Netflix, they got something which is called Putin's War, the Ukrainian invasion. Okay, how the hell did they put out a documentary when he just allegedly invaded a week and a half ago? How the hell did they get so much information on it already? Okay, it takes years to shoot documentaries because you have to gather the proper evidence, man. So this shit is all set up. Okay. But anyway, back to the point. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. And why is that? Because people are going to literally be fighting each other for food. Okay. Food, shelter, water. And what Esau has done, he's created a division among the people. Okay. Because the people is the reason why you're going to see shit happen. Because the narrative that the news and the governments have been giving the people. Same thing with the conflict in Ukraine. Okay, Esau has been twisting the narrative so the people can react, so he can be justified when doing shit, man. Okay, because high gas prices and so-called food shortages, that's not affecting the elite bankers. That's not affecting the presidents. That's not affecting Congress. It's not affecting the Rothschilds. Shit, they don't need to get gas. They get the shit for. They don't even need. They probably drive vehicles that don't require fuel, okay, oil, shit basically, which corrodes and break down your motor and the parts. That's why you have to constantly be in the shop every 3 months. But nonetheless, man, it's the people who's gonna make the moves out here, okay? And that's why the news, they're spinning certain narratives, man. But it says here, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes. And the course of that action shall stand in their power, meaning they're not going to give a fuck about what Biden say. They're not going to give a fuck about what Kamala Harris say. They're not going to give a shit about anybody, okay? But what they can do in order to survive, man. And if that means cutting you off and putting you to death, that's what they're going to do, because the people, they're stupid. They don't realize that their problem, well, some of them do, but majority of these people, they don't look at the so-called white man as being the problem of the earth. They mad at you because you got an extra case of water that they couldn't get. So they mad at you instead of the motherfuckers that's causing a problem, they coming after people when they could just band together and become a collective. But it's not going to be like that, because these people in America, they are very narcissistic, man. Okay, everybody has their own entitlement program that they feel that they are amended by, man. Okay, and that's clearly why the Most High is going to wipe this place out, with one of many reasons. All right, but anyway, it says here, and a man should desire to go into the city and should not be able. Why? Because they're going to have martial law. This is Jacob's trouble. This is when a witch hunt is going to be going on for the men of the Lord too. You see what I'm saying? And it says here, and a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled and the houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid. Men going to be afraid, man. So how much more you women that got all that pride, all that mouth, all that wickedness that you're talking? How much more you, if men are going to be afraid, if men are going to be curled up in a ball like women for all the shit coming in the earth? Because people are literally going to be getting their shit blown off in front of. It's going to be chaotic out here, man. Okay, on every side. It's going to be chaotic, man. It ain't going to be a place you can go. You may have some down spots here and there, but even then, everybody's going to be on edge. So it's going to be like, okay, you see a person, they're going to get at you, you know? And even if you do band up and do what y'all do, eventually, man, the ties are going to be broken. People are going to break unity. Truces are going to be broken. So you ain't going to be safe. And if you ain't got this truth and this faith, nobody's safe. I don't give a damn if you grew up with the nigga across the street for 15 years. Hey, end of the day, it ain't happening, Jack. And it says, and a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy the houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread in great tribulation. And this is what we coming to, buddy. This is setting it up. Lord's will, this keeps happening. Lord's will, these gas prices continue to skyrocket. Hey, Lord's will, food goes up. And hey, let's get the hell out of here, man. I'm ready to be delivered. Ready for this MOTB. Ready for this third world war. I'm ready for the spiritual power. I'm ready for the kingdom. I'm ready to be with brothers, okay? Ready to have families again. First and foremost, I'm ready to be with Yahweh Shai. I want to meet my big bro. You know what I'm saying? I want to meet the Lord. I want to see the Heavenly Father, man. Okay, we've been without our power for too goddamn long. Okay, so we should be hasting the coming of the Lord, okay? Unlike you other bozos out there. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom and a Baba.